Hi, I'm Mark. Welcome back to Three Bridges. So start this one in the garage. So this will be, it's just a short update for the end of December, start of 2025. So if you've been following the channel, I'm building a loft layout in a new house in Scotland. We've been here for about a year. So last year very much just moved in and we've been discovering Scotland, and it left me a lot of time to sort of get things going in the loft, which I'll show you shortly. Next year is so we're planning to be here about 10 years, and next year's the year we're going to do all the major things in the house. So a lot of disruptions in terms of new heating system. I think the boiler broke down 5 times the last year. A new kitchen, a new ceiling in the living room, new floor in the new living room. So, and it's going to mean a lot of disruption to the workshop out here where I do a lot of my building of the subframes, and I still haven't regained control of my garage because two-man canoe has to be stored near and a load of other stuff is out because it's just been doing other stuff. So I've been thinking about this year. So normally I'm building my layout one board at a time, sort of modular, as I make my way around the loft, but I think I'm going to lose this garage in the summer in terms of I'm going to have a load of other stuff stored in here, and so I think I've got about 3 months before I lose it basically, and it will need it for other purposes. So my plan for the start of 2025 is to build the rest of the subframe around the loft, so a lot of work there. I also need to use up all my raw materials, because again, there's a slight risk that I might actually lose the garage and it'll get changed to a different shape as well. So that's the plan that for the first part of the year. I've still got plenty to do this year, so I'm sort of at one end of the loft and sort of turning into what's going to be my Harrow on the Hill station, which is sort of 80% built already. And then as you turn the corner again to come back towards London, it's a lot of scratch build, very little scenics, but it's loads of buildings. So it's going to be a whole mixture of scratch building, Marylebone Station, and then I think for the sort of London, small section of sort of London buildings and houses and shops and whatever, I'm going to use a lot of the scale scenes kits because they're just great to adapt, and I don't really have any particular location in mind of what I want to create. So it's going to be a mixture of that, and obviously I can do that whilst I don't have access to the workshop, and doing other stuff around the house. In the evenings I can still do all those scratch building. So I'll take you up to the loft now, show you where I'm at, show you what I was up to in the last episode, which I probably didn't explain very well. So back in the loft, I apologise, I seem to get like a white noise up here. I think it's coming from the strip lights I've got in the loft. I think one of them's still the old style. I need to get them all converted over to the LED ones. But yeah, so I apologise for the sound quality of this next section. Okay, so back in the loft. So for those of you not familiar with the channel, so this is Wendover. So this is where my my railway is based on some various journeys and stations throughout my life. So this is me at the age of 5 on my first train journey that I remember. So I travelled up to London with my parents just before Christmas, from a station called Wendover. It's in the Chilterns, just north of London, and I do remember that journey very vividly. So that was Wendover, and then in the loft I'd sort of progressed on a sort of small Chiltern-ish area, and then I was sort of going into Amersham. So this is my teenage years and my first railway journey on my own. So in the last video you'll have seen I'd started working on this. This is my Risborough line. So it's a line that runs from Marylebone out to north of London, High Wycombe, going off towards Oxford. But there's a spur off, a single track spur, that runs back to Aylesbury as well. So going back to when the sort of British railway system was sort of getting created, the end of the 19th century, there were just hundreds of railway companies. I think there was about 5 railway companies around Aylesbury itself, and so the Trails tracks are sort of remnants of that. So this is a small halt station. It's sort of based on Little Kimble and another one I can't remember the name of at the moment, but just sort of in the style. And it was a little single line that goes through a bit of a cutting, so I've still got to add more sort of shrubs and trees in here. I've got another bridge to go through, and then it will sort of pass back down, ready to join back into Aylesbury at that end. So in the last episode I was sort of showing you how I was building it, so I've had to create a new sort of clip-on bit of the subframe in this section, and I've done the baseboards, and then there's a gentle incline up as you go along. Ridgeborough line sort of splits near where the other end of my Amersham station is, and then this one sort of goes, one end goes down so it can rejoin in with the Chiltern lines, and then the other line carries on, and this will go towards a goods line. So that's what I was up to last time. Haven't really done a lot up here in the last month, probably like a lot of the people. Christmas time got quite busy with family and friends. So the start of next year, what I'm wanting to do in the loft is obviously remove my return loop, temporary one. I've got to put the new board in here, so I'll cover the building of that. And then this section of the loft where there is absolutely nothing at the moment, as you can see, I've got to build the same supporting framework that will hold the 3 decks. So as I was saying down in the garage, what I'm going to do is build the whole of this framework in the next month, 6 weeks or so. I don't have to assemble it all up here, I just need to get everything made in the garage whilst I've got the space and time, so that when it comes later in the year I can't make the open framework, because I basically had to pack away my table saw. That won't be a problem, and then I can slowly work, as I have been doing, one board at a time, working my way as I go along throughout the year down to my London stations, which will be sort of this end of the loft. And then the other main thing for next year, if I come down this end, so obviously this will be where Aylesbury station will be, and again I've just got a couple of temporary boards, so I can try out the layout, what I want to have for Aylesbury station. I'll remove these, and then obviously I need to again create the framework, but that'll be towards the end of the year, I think. That may change, I suppose. So the other thing I wanted to do with my Chiltern line, if you've been following the channel, is I've got mechanical points. So earlier in the year you can see that I've built these mechanical point frames so that I can just physically change the various points on the layout. And these are all based on always sort of modern levers arrangement that he has at Great Chesterfield Junction, and then obviously I had to create my own light switches and my own signals. So for Marylebone and Aylesbury I want to have the same sort of mechanical rod system. There's about 12 or 13 points at each station, so with these ones I had just had a simple 4 framework to work out how to do it. So again, that's a big challenge, but that'll probably be more in the summertime. And then the other thing that hasn't really happened in the last 3 months is getting the scenics for this section. I just didn't really know what I was going to do, so I decided to leave it for a bit. And part of the reason why I started on the little Chiltern Ridgeborough line is I was thinking if I just had a smaller section to do the scenics with, because it's all completely new to me. I haven't got a static grass applicator that's sort of working. I built one, but I need to find it and dig it out and repair it, I think. And then I've got some shrubs, some seafoam trees to create and stuff like that. So this short section here, it's a couple of meters. I'm going to work on this one first, to do the scenics again over the early part of next year, and then when I'm happy with what I've sort of created there, I can then return to that Amersham Moor Park section and do the scenics there. So that's the plan, so jumping around. But whereas this year I suppose if I wanted to do something different, I did. I think for 2025 I'm going to have to sort of stick quite rigidly to a plan, as getting the framework sorted out first is probably the main priority. So the coming up episodes I'll show you how I'm building that, and if I've made some progress with the scenics I'll come back to these lines. The other key thing as well I also want to get done is, at the moment when I run my DC sort of loop, so I have one connection point, and I run it off one controller, and it's a continuous loop. It's about, I'm trying to work this one out, about 25 meters long, and with just one power point onto the tracks I can run a 25 meter loop with a DC controller, and it works absolutely fine, so no issues at all. But obviously now when I take the loops, return loops at where the Aylesbury station is, and then where I've got the return loop at that end, I need to remove those so that I've got an up and a down line on my DC, and also I've got to have my Risborough line DC, and then I've obviously got to get from the various lines with the points, so I need to sort of change it over so I've got a more of a block DC control for that part. I need to test that out and also build the DC control panel, so that's another one. And then the last bit for next year is obviously I've also got a small underground station, so it starts at Amersham with my underground trains, and they're running DCC. So at the moment they literally just run up and down to Moor Park up there. That one has also got to have a line which is my Uxbridge Spur, which will also run along here. And then if you've been following the channel in the Mind the Gap series, where I'm building sort of Uxbridge Station on 3 levels, I need to fit that in somewhere about here and then also get from the 3 levels to 1 level and join in at the other end, so that the Uxbridge line will come into Harrow on the Hill as well. So lots to do, very clear what I need to get done, just need to crack on. But as I say, December was probably, like a lot of people, a lot of family interruptions, good fun, didn't mind it at all. But now that's sort of behind us, I can get back on to spending more time on the layout. So hope you all had a good festive time, and I'll catch you in the new year. And for all those who joined, followed the channel, subscribed, thank you very much. It was just still amazed that people actually follow and come back. So it's only a small channel, I know that, and I'm going slowly at my own pace, so look forward to people's comments and various things in the year ahead. Anyway, enjoy your modelling, and maybe I'll catch you next time. Cheers.